And welcome to Reddit Talks Clash, episode 6 now. So, just to set this up, we are the moderators here at the Clash of Clans subreddit, and we've been getting together here on the Reddit Talks feature every other Friday to talk about what's been going on in our subreddit in the game Clash of Clans and try to engage a little bit closer with you guys, the community. So, the best thing you guys can do is start leaving questions down in the comments below, and at the end, we're going to come around and try to answer as many of those as we have time for. And until then, we picked out some of our favorite posts from the last couple weeks and some of the other latest happenings. And we will be going over those as well as a giveaway. So I am FJ Wright here on Reddit, Mr. Mac in the game. And I'll throw it over to Rick to talk a little bit more about the giveaway.
So, we figured Supercell is kind enough to give codes out to content creators and other people in the Clash community. So we have a couple. I figure why not give one away? So everyone who asks it, go ahead and ask us a question in the comments of this post, and at the end we'll pick the most interesting one, the one we found most engaging, etc., and and then afterwards we'll be in touch. And I'm going to send you a code, and you can go collect your cool reward. Do we want to...
What kind of stuff can you redeem this code
for? This one will be a statue, and I have 2 different statues available, so I'll just say it will be your choice between the 2, and I'll send you pics whenever we choose a winner.
Ooh. How have you been, Frank?
Hey, yeah, good. My name's Frank. I am, having a good week. It's been, I'm tired all the time. I think my shout out the last time we did this was that I had a new kid, and that's awesome. But, super tired. But I have really been getting into all 4 of my accounts the last few days and have been really pushing at I have a maxed account, and then my other one is close to max Town Hall 11, and that's the one I've been pushing at a ton. So I'm having a really good time with that. I enjoy the aesthetic for Town Hall 11, but I really like the meta for 12. Maybe the most in the whole game, so I'm excited to upgrade for that.
Well, let me know if you can hear this. This is probably going to sound terrible.
No, we hear you. Oh. Yeah, no, we can hear it a little bit. The sound quality is not great.
Oh, no. I'm not going to do this much longer. But I just wanted to go ahead and... This is one of the coolest things I've seen submitted. User Naib Ozzy submitted this post of him playing the Clash of Clans music on his, organ-style keyboard there. And this was like...
Yeah, I'm sure everyone who's listening to this just thinks you're playing the game
it's
while
not the
we're
game
talking.
Music. It's actually a user-submitted video, and he played the game music. And it's really, really well done.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really neat. It was one of my favorite posts. I think I've said that a couple of times now, but it feels like about once every other week we're getting like a genuine, really creative, high effort post, and I think this is one for sure. There's only a couple spots you can tell it's like stylistically different than in game, and I think he does a really good job of like almost dramatizing it.
It's worth noting, I don't think he is the guy in the video. I think this is a repost from a TikToker. I'm seeing in the comments, Patrick Surjono, something like that, Surjono. So if you really did want to give this guy the credit, there's probably a little bit more digging to be done there. But nonetheless, pretty cool post.
Yeah, Rick, are you a music guy?
No, no. I am I am the guy who listens to AM radio in my car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, podcast crowd here. We really like this guy playing our original video game music.
Yeah. Yeah. All I listen to
you know what we forgot in our announcements, though?
Oh, yeah. Our promo event going on right now.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on Reddit versus forums, the finale.
The finale.
Yeah, round 7. What's
7.
the record so far?
It's 3-3.
Tied up.
Forums had a lead coming into the last one. That was May, so it's been almost a year. And now, it's time. It's time to dig it up, dig up the old fight, and have a go at it and break this 3-3 tie. Even even though Reddit did kind of go on top, we figured it was time.
You know, and I've got to confess.
Oh yeah.
I'll confess. I enjoyed the forums at their height. You know, I'm not a big time forums user, but I definitely engaged with it on a very regular basis for a long time. So I've always signed up on the side of the forums.
Yeah, I probably use the forum site more than anything official for patch notes and like update notes and things like that. But like as like a social media platform, a way to talk to people, I don't know if I ever used the forums. I know some people like were hardcore about it, especially for recruiting. And even back in the day, I was always pro Reddit. But the signups for this one are a little bit different. Spence has linked the link for the pinned message about it, and you can go to that message and type in, what is it? Reddit sign up, forum sign up.
Yeah, we worked up Automod to handle it all. So just if you find that post, go in, you type a comment, either saying sign up Reddit or sign up forums, and Automod will take care of the rest. We haven't seen a whole lot of engagement from the forum side of the house yet. I don't know exactly why that is. I don't know if those guys are really pulling their weight over on their side and trying to push signups, but we'll just have to see what happens, and hopefully it ends up being a good war.
Yeah, anyone listening to this, feel free to reach out to the forums mods and tell them to step up their game a little bit.
Did you guys talk about the Town Hall 15 behind a soft paywall potentially coming up?
Yeah, no, not yet. I think that's a really cool / weird one. Rick, I saw that you were actually in the comment section for it. Can you tell everybody what it's about?
That was just some random guy asking a question. And what his question was is he has just like a donation account that he rushed up. And so he's only working on just a few things. I think he said it was a Siege donation account. So he rushed straight there. He blew all his gems on other stuff, and he only has 2 or 3 builders. So he was concerned that will he need all 5 battle builders in order to go to Town Hall 15 whenever that does eventually drop, because since the engineering nerf, you have to have all defenses.
Mm-hmm.
And now builders are a defense, so it's not gonna affect a whole lot of people because there's got to be only just a handful of people in the whole community who get to Town Hall 14 and don't have all 5 builders. But it is kind of a just on principle, it seems that if they required you to have all 5 battle builders, that would require you to spend those gems. So I don't know. To me, it kind of sounded like maybe Town Hall 15 will be behind a paywall. It's the softest paywall you could possibly imagine.
Well, Darian did answer directly. So he said in the comments down there that it's a good question. Just to sum it up briefly again, will the builder hut defenses count towards the defenses you need to upgrade to Town Hall 15? So, he said that it's a good question that I don't have an answer for yet, but when development on Town Hall 15 is in full swing, it's something we'll definitely need to address.
Yeah, so I look at it in a kind of a couple ways. So a few questions first. When did they implement the nerf to engineering when you have to lay every building?
That was when they introduced Town Hall 12. So
that's what I thought.
So that was a long time ago.
Yeah, been a few town halls, and it's not just every defense; it's literally every building, right? Like you can't skip a gold collector.
True.
Yeah. So as it currently stands, they've coded in an exception. I think they'd have to do it with the master builder. Like some people have a master builder's hut and some don't, and they can still upgrade whether that building is present or not. So I think it should be like well within their abilities to be able to code in, you can have only 2 master builder huts, or not master builder, but like 2 of the battle builder huts up to 5, So I think they can. The question is if they will, because I can see them, trying to balance Town Hall 15 around having 6 builders and really being able to one thing people have been talking about a lot is whether Town Hall 15 is going to utilize the option of using 2 builders on one thing, or if they're ever going to make anything in the game where you can like use multiple builders on something. And that'd be pretty neat. And if they kind of guarantee that you have at least 5 builders going into Town Hall 15, it does kind of open up the door to some more creative things that they can do with it. But it would be kind of like, I don't think they'll ever make you have to pay gems. I think it might be free if they do it. But who knows? They've got some options.
Yeah, I know. We looked it up in the comments of that post too, and if you add up all of the achievements, just from the achievements alone, it was like 15,000 gems you get. So way more than enough.
Not including the goblin map, not including the practice.
Yeah, and not including, I think you still get. I don't know how up to date this is. I know years ago, last time I cared was from obstacles. It's like you get 3 obstacles a day on average, and those average out to like 2 gems a day, plus the gem mine, plus 2 gem boxes a month, plus selling stuff from clan games. Like you get a metric ton of gems. So it's not going to be a real issue for anyone. I just found it one of those like interesting philosophical kind of questions. Like how do you approach this just on principle?
Yeah, I think
I agree. It's interesting, but at the same time, everyone that's listening, please just do the builder huts. If you're going to progress that far in the game, no reason not to have those anyway.
But I think it'd be so cool if they were free, because if someone manages to make it all the way to Town Hall 15 with like 2 or 3 builders, I think that'd be hilarious if the game just rewards you with all 5 and says, to play from here on out, you need all of them. So here you go. Congratulations.
Oh God, just taking an account from like all level 1 stuff rushed up to maxed out is such a pain in the butt.
Well, yeah, even if you're not upgrading well, even if it's just a rush. How long does that take these days?
Okay, I'm maxing out a Town Hall 13, and I'm nearly done. That started with all level one structures. I remember I started it. It was already a 13 with all level 1 stuff laid down, and I started upgrading it on January 1st of last year. And I'm still not done with the defenses on it, and that is with 6 builders the whole time. So it's a pain in the butt to unrush that rushed of an account, and that's with 6 builders. So I definitely wouldn't recommend doing it, for anything other than just trying to have street cred that you did do it.
Well, one more interesting part of this post, while we're still here.
Yeah.
Darian had a second comment on there, responding to someone who asked when the spring update is going to be released. So he said his cheeky little sometime in the spring. And this is not on the agenda, guys. I'm going off script here. But have you guys ever looked through Darian's comment history and just appreciated it?
No, not appreciated it.
He has got the funniest attitude of any company representative I've ever seen, participating in a forum.
He's such a troll.
I know. I think it is so funny. On the topic of the spring update, we did have a good update watch post that I think people were kind of consolidating a couple of different hints that have been dropped lately, just that it's coming here soon.
April is traditionally the update month. I think the last 3 of the last 4 years was an April spring update.
Yeah, the post you're talking about in particular, it said some content creators are giving big hints of a big update in April, and even Darian gave some hints in an interview. And I'm not entirely sure about that, to be honest. I haven't seen which content creators this person might be referring to, or the interview with Darian, to be honest, so I don't know any of the inside things. But the guy did say afterwards, this is Maximum Joke 641, said, I think it's going to drop a few days after when CWL ends. And I do know historically they almost always drop an update on Mondays, because if there's any problem with the App Store, typically their business hours are like Monday through Friday. So they try to have it drop first thing on Monday. And if something comes up, then it gets pushed to Tuesday. And like worst case scenario, it'll still go out at some point that week. So they always shoot for Mondays. And then they definitely, for competitive integrity, shoot for like pretty quickly after CWL so that people have as much time as possible to play with it beforehand.
Yeah. There's been a few updates where it'll catch the last couple days of CWL. I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Friday evening now. It's probably not going to happen next week if we haven't started seeing sneak peeks already. Because a lot of times I think we know when we see sneak peeks, those I want to say start coming out midweek and carry through to Saturday, and then we get a day or two, and yeah, it'll come up Monday or Tuesday, right?
Yeah. So my guess, if it's going to be spring, would be not this CWL because that's coming up pretty quick, but after the next CWL, probably the Monday afterwards.
Update watch.
Did either of you guys, just out of curiosity, end up seeing that interview that the account was talking about?
I assume he's talking about the McKenzie stream. I know we pinned it while it was live and for a little bit after. It was good. McKenzie is a streamer. He does a lot of esports stuff. We're gonna have him on. I talked to him last night, so we'll try and get him scheduled to guest. He's pretty funny guy, Scottish. So if anyone's missing Sam's accent, you get a double dose of the British stuff.
That'll be our first episode with subtitles.
Yeah. But yeah, there wasn't anything like real new in the Darian interview that he did with McKenzie. I assume that's the one he's talking about. I know.
Yeah, I just sent it over to. It'll be in the pin post in a second.
Yeah. I think Darian did say that they haven't started. They haven't really started the work on Town Hall 15 yet in that one, and that might have been the first time they've said that publicly.
Well, it does make it kind of interesting if the spring update is going to be big for whatever reason. Like, it seems like they're pretty... I don't know. I'd be surprised if there's more Town Hall 14 content that came out that was, like, huge.
I think, as it stands now, I still think Town Hall 14 is shorter than Town Hall 13. So, but there's still... If we're looking at, the 18-month goal, we still got a lot of months left for Town Hall 14 stuff. So
not expecting a Town Hall.
Yeah,
probably just troop levels.
Yeah, like whether it's
troop.
People are gonna freak out if it's just another like super troop and like here's a cannon level or whatever.
Well, I tell you what, it could be is a super spell.
Oh, hey.
Which is our segue into.
There we go.
Good transitions.
We're kind of cheating with this post because this is from our very own Wizard of Oz. Spence made a post himself a few days ago, and he'll put it up there for everybody to see. But it's an idea it's not a super spell in the same sense of a super troop, like you're not trading anything out. It's an idea for a brand new spell that, and chime in if I'm explaining this wrong, but you drop it, and it's a dark elixir spell. And anytime a troop walks in the radius, they become their super troop version while they're in there. Kind of like a rage, but instead of just being bigger, they become their super troop version. So obviously that would have a ton of cool implications depending on what troops you're using, what armies you're using. And he goes into like a lot of depth. I won't go into all of it right now, but really well thought out concept.
One of the funny things that we always see when people bring up like super spells or new spells is they always sound just insanely overpowered. Like I remember one that was like somebody had come up with a super miner concept, and then when the miner dies, he drops an earthquake spell, and
that's hilarious.
Okay, like we're just gonna destroy every single wall in the whole base doing that, but
it's kind of like anti-synergy with itself. Though.
Yeah, there's like Spencer put a lot of work into this, and it's balanced out. He wrote out all the different levels of stuff. 8 different levels of it available starting in Town Hall 11, I think.
Yeah, and obviously if it gets implemented in game, they'll change all those numbers around and balance it accordingly. The thing that I think Spence included that was super crucial for a spell like this is similar to the clone, and he actually goes into a big comparison between the two that someone else probably understands more than me, but similar to the clone, that it has a limit on how many troops a clone spell will clone, that there's going to be a housing limit.
Transformation capacity, he coins it.
Yeah. And so that makes a lot of sense. And he gets into like math, and it's been a while since I've done the math. So I don't know exactly how you balance that out, but it's a similar concept. So you can't just put in 5 or 6 dragons and then you immediately have super dragons over an entire base.
Yep. Even, I mean, look at all this. He even goes on to the different special cases of other super troops and other examples of where abilities trigger housing space increases. Like, come on.
Yeah, we see a lot of ideas like this. I think it's been kind of a trend for maybe the last 2 or 3 months. And generally speaking, they're always cool. I love that people are doing it. I like the art, the creativity. I think it's always really good content. But generally, I think it's always just kind of fodder for speculation. And then Supercell's really just going to go and do their own thing. But this one really seems like something thematically they might be interested in as a company. It incorporates all of the like troops that they've been putting in a lot of hard work on in the super troops, a lot of the artwork that they've been doing. They don't have to come up with too many new assets for it. And then it also seems like it's pretty easy to balance while using mechanics that they already have in their game. So I think this is like a viable option. I wouldn't be surprised if Supercell actually did something kind of like this in the future.
You think he knows something? You think it's going to be in the update?
Well, Darian did comment on it, and he so again, giving him a hard time for his post. He just didn't read the whole thing. And like, granted, it's 8 slides and it's got the math. Which I mean, nobody likes to read the math. But he actually used the example of dragons. Says, imagine dragon spam attack turning into a massive super dragon tsunami. If dragons take up 20 housing and super drags take up 40, even temporarily, you've doubled the housing space of your army. You've sent in 2 armies worth of troops. And then says, like, I can't believe the chaos. And my favorite comment is one guy responds and says, hey, Darian, please check out slide 5, where Spencer has addressed these concerns. And crickets. Just total crickets come after that. So unless Darian's like hard trolling and they have thought about something like that, I don't think we'll see this for like, a year or 2. Like probably a Town Hall 15 spell.
Well, since we're talking about Darian so much, it's worth noting that I think he quit the other day.
Yeah, that was today. Well, I guess by the time people are listening to this, it'll be the other day. We're recording this on April 1st when.
Well,
Darian...
no, this I'm talking about that post from 3 days ago. Where
we put it up. I don't know if it's on.
So the post is from Neil Patil. I don't even know if this is real. Someone's got to confirm this for me. But they claim that you can upgrade your jump spell at the level 6 lab, which you unlock at Town Hall 9. But you don't get the spell until lab level 7.
Yeah, that was a weird post.
The spell before you can unlock the spell. I don't even know if that's true. The whole post was kind of weird. It was very engaged with, and a lot of people upvoted it because I'm sure everyone had the same question that I did, if that's even a thing. But Darian said, in light of this troubling fact, I've since resigned and have taken up a monastic life as a hermit in the mountains of Finland. Only Finland doesn't really have mountains, and pretty much everyone here is hermetic already. So does that mean anything has actually changed?
Yeah.
And this is what I'm getting at when I'm saying go through Darian's comments.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of frustrated about this one, though, because I want to know an answer. I think we were talking about this just a little bit before the show, that if you can upgrade a spell in the lab, even if it's a bug, if it's in any way replicable, that's kind of game breaking. Like, it's definitely not fair to other accounts. But I saw like 2 or 3 posts in the same span of a couple of days where people are claiming that they can upgrade their jump spell at level 6, but you don't unlock the jump spell itself until level 9, which is when you get lab level 7. And I wanted a real answer behind what was happening. And all we got is Darian being a monk now. Rick, how many accounts do you have? Can you try it out?
Yeah, I'm actually pulling my tablet up right now to go to my Town Hall 8.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Rick, for anyone who doesn't know, has like 75 accounts. And I'm sure you've got a level 6 lab on one of them.
Yeah, I have a max account at each level. Mine is at 13. That's almost done, but whatever.
I guess you're looking for a Town Hall 8?
Yeah, I'll pull up my... I kind of have 2 8s right now because I'm trying to get a 9.5 going.
At least while you're pulling this up, if you can do it, I don't think it should make a big difference because the meta at Town Hall 8 has nothing to do with walls. It's all dragons and all hogs.
It's
So even
so
if you can't
sad.
even if you can't get a strong jump for whatever reason, and you wouldn't be able to place it,
Right.
I think it just like would affect your
Town-
upgrade time by the time you get to Town Hall 9.
Town Hall 8, level 6 lab. I do not see jump spell as an option. Let me go to my 9.
Yeah, that's how it should be intended.
Yeah, I mean, these are maxed and they've been maxed for a while, so it could just be something weird. I mean, my 9's going to already have a max jump.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a bug on a couple people's accounts. I don't know, but I am surprised, and like this is just part of Reddit, so I shouldn't be surprised anymore. There are how can I see how many comments? 150 comments on this post from 3 days ago, and everyone is just bought into the meme because the title said disturbing fact, and everything is like a link to oddly terrifying. It's like people gasping, the SpongeBob gif, like people literally dying in some of these, and no one has a single helpful comment about how this happened.
Yeah, this one should have gone to the questions post to get a serious answer.
Yeah, it really should.
Is this real?
Yeah. So anybody listening to this right now, if you have any idea, like if this was a bug and if it was legit on even just like a handful of accounts for whatever reason, feel free to let me know. The last time something like this happened, though, there was a bug, and Rick, you're the encyclopedia. I bet you'll be able to help me. There was a bug that came out where you could essentially max all of your walls at once. It was like an unlimited loot for just one day.
Dude, I almost called in sick to work that day.
Yeah,
so,
it would have been full time to take 70 accounts and do that. Yeah,
it was. So I think what you're thinking about is there's been
it was like
a couple
season loot or something.
No, okay. Well, the thing.
Oh no! Yeah, I remember. It was the raid mine, the loot cart. Yeah, it was a maxed out loot cart that you could log in and log out, and it would be maxed out every time. So you'd log in, get your loot cart, full out your storages, spend it all on walls, log out, log back in, do the same thing, and for like 3 hours you could do that exploit. And I remember Darian was like livid. Yeah, it was so weird because like this type of thing happens, and it's part of the game, I guess. And it was a really small percent of accounts that I think took advantage of it to max out their walls, and that was really all you could do because you put builders down if you did anything else with the loot. But usually it's just like you grin and bear it, and accept like, oh, there's a bug, people exploited it, now we fixed it. But Darian was like livid that people took advantage of it and seemed to imply that they would try and reverse it when they figured out who.
No way.
Yeah,
that was such an empty threat too. But,
yeah, because I don't know how you do that, man. But that was crazy. So I think if this was a real exploit, he would have said something.
That was right when they made like that was the update. I think the same one that re-nerfed Town Hall 10 dragons that fixed a lot of stuff, or right around then, because that was when they introduced the huge loot carts, and when they I think added the returning player. Stuff.
I was going to say
it was
I
all
it was
around that
one.
same time.
Yeah.
And was that also the update that broke auto, and a lot of people were able to unlock auto without max builder machines?
Oh yeah, that's true, because I think those happened at the same time, that might be part of why, because that's actually huge.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
both significant.
The same update, if it wasn't the same update, it was close to each other.
Yeah, and like I don't know what's worse, from a game developer standpoint, if you're unintentionally letting somebody max out all of their walls, which is supposed to be one of like the chief grinds of the game, versus letting somebody unlock auto for free, which is negating the entire second village that they created. Like both of those are pretty significant.
It wasn't for everyone. I think it was only for people who had like 3 of the 4 auto.
Oh yeah, it was another exploit. For a small percent of users,
it was
still a big deal.
It was all people who were like only a couple levels away anyway.
Right. And so the people that, similarly, everyone who took advantage of the wall stuff, it was just for the one town hall that you're at. And so there are only a few town halls where you're really going to get an insane value out of it. It's just going to save you time on most of them.
I'll go through fast, but the other game-breaking glitch that I thought you were originally talking about. It was years ago. Did you guys play back when Barracks trained stuff individually?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when they tried to change it, or there was an update where what they tried to do was if you had something already training, and then you moved stuff around in your training queue, it would transfer that time to the new troop. So, which was actually really nice because I think things still took a lot longer. So if you're 12 minutes into a golem and you're like, oh, I need a dragon, then you would drag the dragon in front, and it would, keep that time that was already spent on the golem and just transfer it. But it was broken. So what you could do is you start a golem and then train like 1,000 Valks or however many, and then you drag that entire group in front of the golem immediately, and they instantly finished. It was anything you drug in front, it didn't apply the time correctly. You just instantly finished it. So it was on the same day. I think it was a Valk event, which is why my mind went to Valks. So it was cheap Valks in the thing. And I was at Town Hall 9 or something, and you could just train.
I remember this.
You could train like 100 DE all Valk armies instantly.
Man, and that was also back when Legends was all about who has more time instead of who has more skill.
Yeah,
and so if you can free up the armies, that quickly, that'd be, they would care about that.
Yeah, and there were also a couple times where they accidentally made it to where you could upgrade Town Hall 8 walls with Elixir as well, and maybe level 6 and 7 walls as well. I'm not sure, but those were around 1 day each time until they fixed it. So there were a lot of happy Town Hall 7s and 8s who finished their wall because those Town Halls notoriously have always had an excess of Elixir.
Man.
Well, speaking of excess of time, check out the visualization post that look at how much data had to go into this, a visualization of how often troops receive new levels. And it has all the troops with when they received new levels over updates over time.
Yeah, so
it'll tell you which troops are most due for an update in the end, which ones have had the longest wait. So are witches coming back?
Yeah, so for anyone who can't see it, it's not visualizing like the number of levels that a troop has in terms of like, how much you can level it up, but how often the game releases an update that comes out with a new level for that troop. So ones that you unlock later will obviously have fewer of them, but it looks like the longest amount of time ever between letting a new level out is goblins, and I think 2016 they came out with one level, and then 2020 they came out with another. So like about 4 years is the most
average wait. Yes.
Yeah. And the only one that's getting kind of close right now is witches. They're at 1,081 days since their last level that came out, and second place is 522 days. And if I follow the line correctly, what is that? Pekkas? Yeah. So like that's pretty significant. Like witches are probably due for one, but do people use them?
Pekkas and witches, if they both get a level, ground spam is all the way back.
Well, like it depends on what town hall it comes out for, but assuming it's for a max town hall, I mean, does that really bring witches back into Town Hall 14? I just think there's too much splash damage.
Maybe I don't know if like thinking about nearly a decade of Clash history, every time a new witch comes out, it's just horrendously broken, and it takes several balance changes to fix it. It's such a weird thing because the spawn rate and the number of skeletons it has can just get out of hand and stack up really quick. Like Town Hall 11 was a disaster for a month or two, just because those were the brand new level 3 witches.
One man's disaster is another's opportunity.
Yeah,
I thrive in those times. I love
just like for 1 month. 6 Star Wars. You getting 6 stars every war for like a month until they finally fix it.
You call that a disaster?
Insane. It's just draw after draw after draw in war. It's terrible.
Yeah, well.
Oh man. I call that the highlight of my game.
That reminds me of the Royal Ghosts. I freaking love Royal Ghosts. Not to get too sidetracked, but I guess if they come out with another witch level, I guess I'll be about it. The only thing that we have to think about, I guess, now is that when they come out with a brand new level for something, that has to affect the super troop. And I actually think witches are a really good candidate, even at Town Hall 14, to get a new level. Because right now, I only see them, you like sprinkle in 1 or 2 on a ground smash. Right now, I'm doing a super bowler smash for all my legend hits and most of my war attacks too. And I use 2 witches. Sometimes they help funnel. Sometimes they're just, along for the ride behind.
Yeah.
And another level would help that attack a little bit, but not, it wouldn't break it. But super witches, I think, is a super troop that's never really taken off.
I
super
wanted
well
them to be so good.
I know. Yeah.
I know.
The biggest problem is I think
tried
design
so hard.
wise that the big guy gets away from the witch too soon and then you're just kind of screwed. But another level to it might make, might be the difference maker. It might be a viable, war hit at Town Hall 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love super witches at Town Hall 12. That's my go-to Town Hall 12 hit. Is just super witches and regular witch spam. But yeah,
well, shout out to
they're not
YouTube
not viable.
Post. Pretty cool to see.
Oh yeah,
the average weight and then where everything's at right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did you guys see the guy who's been playing in his car now?
Yeah,
I've been researching these. Well, yeah, right. Well, A Thompson 2115 had a post where this is something you can get for your car. It's an Android-based head unit that you replace your console with. So instead of whatever touchscreen your car comes with, you can use one of these. And apparently, it's Android. You can get Clash of Clans on it.
That's hilarious.
How ridiculous.
I mean, so here's my question. Obviously, disclaimer, don't clash and drive. Now, that being said, I've pulled over to the side of the road to get my war tax in.
I've done war tax from the. I've done war tax.
To be clear, I've also not pulled over, and I've
hey,
every
no
time.
Clashing and driving. Hopefully, you regretted it on the clash side, not the driving side.
Never done it for a war hit, mind you. Never would.
So you're just farming for loot while you're driving? I would only do it for a war hit.
Oh man, you're at a red light. You mindlessly go to Clash. You've been there, You start the attack, and then it turns green immediately. What do? It's a Legends hit. You get 8 of these.
What kind of dork are you that has to clash in traffic?
I mean, there was a guy in our clan once who was a truck driver, and that's one of the most common jobs in America. So I think a lot of truck drivers probably clash. But this guy was on all the time, and I couldn't imagine in my head how he could be a truck driver and a clasher. So I'm sure for some people that maybe they can do both. Well, please don't.
No, maybe he was just maybe he was poor. Didn't work a lot.
Yeah, maybe. But here's my question. Obviously, this is a safety issue. Do you think it should be Clash, Supercell's responsibility when their game is being played directly on a console of a car? Or do you think it's the car manufacturer to limit what you can put on their heads-up display? Because, let's say one person gets in an accident, one person dies. It's obviously a lawsuit waiting to happen. So who's the culpability fall on?
Well, it varies countries to country, and that's why a car manufacturer, none of them would ever put this is not a stock part. You got to buy this separately.
I know. I know. Most video screens and stuff are built to be disabled. If you're not in park, if it's a video screen up front, I know mine. My screens in my car yell. They yell at me all the time. But also, every time I've got them installed, the guy will pull me aside and be like, "Hey, for $50, I'll bypass that if you want." So who knows? Yeah.
My favorite comment on that post is Crash of Clans.
That's pretty good. That tickled me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I've been looking into these because you can get them to play YouTube in your car while you're driving. I do all my podcasting on YouTube.
Man, anybody who's listening to this right now, please don't follow Mac's example of YouTube and Clash while you're driving.
All right. Well, don't clash and drive, kids. If you haven't heard yet, we're going to pick one of our favorite questions from the questions you guys have put in the comments down there. And we're doing a little giveaway. We're going to get some kind of little Supercell statue. A little code to redeem for one anyway. So if you guys are ready, we should probably get down into the questions a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. So I've got one that I'm excited about, if that's all right. Gibby 1464 said, would we ever get more hero pets? How could this affect the role of heroes in different attack strategies? And I think we talked about this just very briefly a few episodes ago, but I've got strong opinions. I think, and I think it was because either Sam or Rick was disagreeing, and I kind of forget who. I hope it was Rick because Sam's not here right now. But if it was Sam, then he's just wrong, and he doesn't get to say anything. Absolutely. I think we're going to get more hero pets. I think it's a missed opportunity if we don't. And
do you think it will always be 1-to-1? That you'll get one more hero and one more pet?
Absolutely. I think it should always be 1-to-1. I think they introduce 1 or 2 at a time, probably just 1 at a time, if it's going to be the way that I'm thinking about it. And then you can pick the 5th pet, equip it, and so you've got 1 on the bench at any point in time, similar to normal troops.
Not 1-to-1. You want an extra pet in rotation.
No. I mean, like always 1 pet for 1 hero. And so you get 5 pets. You still only use 1, 1 for 1. Maybe, maybe we're saying the same thing.
I meant a balance of 4 heroes and 4 pets, and then 5 heroes and 5 pets.
Oh, no. So that would be the thing, is that if they come out with another pet at Town Hall 15, or even 2 pets, and then they come out with another hero later on, then you can cycle in, figure it out. And I think that makes it so that there are just more combinations that you can always use. Because right now there are 4 pets and 4 heroes, and it feels pretty stale because there's always going to be 1 pet that's the best for, which hero in any given scenario.
No.
No. Well, technically, I should, but I'm too lazy. For queen walks, I always put the unicorn on my queen and the yak on my king. And on a Sui hero, I think you're supposed to put the yak on your queen and the unicorn on your king. And that way you've got a guaranteed tank for your queen. And then your king, who is the only really beefy boy, gets to live a little bit longer.
I haven't touched my pet house since I finished my last pet upgrade.
Yeah. I have noticed how powerful they are, though. I have a rushed Town Hall 14 that I use primarily for donations, and I've been getting further and further to a max. It's almost fun to play now.
So the only big disappointment that I have with pets is that they all feel pretty weak, or the ones that feel strong by themselves. So the yak is going to do exactly what it does, no matter who it's attached to.
My owl is stronger than some of my heroes right now. Because my heroes are so rushed.
I can't be the only one who always wants to call it a bat, can I?
Yeah, no, it definitely looks like a bat.
It's a cool. It'd be cool if it was a bat.
But I just really the dream is that, especially if they come out with more, that you can pick different pets on your heroes, and it actually makes a big difference. Really helps out your attack. Because if it opens the door to more strategy, I think it's a huge success. And they still have plenty of time to find that. I think right now it's a fun little thing to do, but it's mostly just power creep in an attack as opposed to increased strategy. And maybe if they have 10 pets and several of them have different viable uses, and you can pick your 4 tailor-made for your attack, I think that would feel pretty cool. But unless they change the power level of an individual pet, I think just having more of them is the only way to make it a strategic choice.
Yeah, I think they've addressed it a few times, but they said, at first they're Darian said in the McKendro interview that we talked about already, they figured out pretty early on that there was going to be an ideal matching, and they kind of liked it. And I assume because we have pets and because we have all the pet upgrades, that's why we only have 5 levels of hero at Town Hall 14. So if they want to pivot away from adding a new hero to developing pets more with Town Hall 15, I think that'd be cool and interesting. And because 4 heroes is a lot to manage, even with the auto ability still. And pets are a way to increase the hero power without you needing to sacrifice that hero for a while too.
And there's that might have been one of the main reasons why they gravitated towards pets, is it just feels so bad to put your heroes down, and this, like you're saying, helps you make them feel better without having to put them asleep.
I want to what I want to hear is the story about the pet announcement last year, a year ago today. Because it was April Fool's Day that they posted the pet announcement. They said, "Hey, we're bringing pets to Clash of Clans." And we all laughed and said, haha,
Oh, wow.
that would be so stupid. Obviously that's an April Fool's Day joke. And then it was a week later, like, oh, hey, wait, they were serious. And, but I know my initial reaction was like, that's hilarious because that would be insanely dumb.
But I do think pets
it worked out
overall. Like maybe at the next town hall level, you give them 25 more levels each or something like that, because then that would be a strategic choice where to put them. They're just
balance
not
wise,
enough. Yeah,
like kind of balance wise, it feels like an extra ability level or two.
But if they felt more like
so I think it's pretty good
hero,
right now.
It would be cool to pair them differently.
They've said a bunch of times that they're still not sure if they want to do a hero at Town Hall 15, and just the way it keeps coming up and the way they kind of dismiss it, like we don't know if that's the direction we want to go. It's making me kind of think that there's not going to be a hero at Town Hall 15, which I'm like, I know I just said it, but I'm pretty fine with that.
I think there's going to be. Gotta be, right? Who knows? Let's speaking of heroes, what do you think about hero skin icons in battle from user Yazan TFS? Yazan?
What?
Yeah, what?
What does that mean exactly?
Yeah.
Oh, the little icon at the bottom on your troop deployment bar.
Where's the skin?
Style of the skin.
Adding the skin to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool playing on a tablet.
It's cool. Gut reaction is kind of negative for me though, because if I sometimes have a lot going on down there, and if I just can't like readily see where my king is because he looks like a golem versus an actual golem, like that's just a disadvantage to me. And then no one else sees my icons when I'm attacking, so it's not like it looks cool to anybody else. I also like to min-max the competitive aspect of the game as much as possible.
Yeah.
So if they do implement it, I would hope that there'd be a feture to turn it off.
Yeah, that's
but it'd be cool.
That's what I was thinking too. Like if they allowed it, I would turn it off immediately. Just I don't really care what my deployment bar looks like.
Oh, here's maybe a quick one. Whirlybird 922 says, "What do you think of the current meta? Is there anything that you feel is a little bit broken?" And I just changed my attack this week, so I'd like to answer it for sure. It's definitely an air meta, and I think it has been ever since this town hall came out. And it's kind of sucked for me. I know a lot of people have been having a good time with it, but I don't know. It feels like it can be pretty spammy at times. Like Super Drag spam and then Dragon Rider spam were also like really big for a little while at Town Hall 14. But I just switched over to Super Bowlers. So I don't know if I'm going to say that this is like the broken meta attack, but definitely if you're not an air attack type of person, this is what you should be doing at Town Hall 14 is Super Bowlers. It's a Grand Warden funnel, a Flame Flinger funnel on the other side. And then you got 4 Super Bowlers and a typical Smash composition, like 1 Headhunter, 1 Ice Golem, a couple Witches behind, drop your heroes down the middle. And I've been having a great time with that. Feels like it's a little bit different than air for anybody who doesn't like air, and it definitely gets results in Legends and in Wars.
It probably every few weeks I'm like, I'm gonna figure out Super Bowlers, and I boost them, and then I spend 3 days just 1-starring in Legends, like something like I really need. I really need like a lesson in Super Bowlers.
The first time I used them, I thought they were trash. I thought they were in the same camp as like Super Giants, Super Witches that like people would try and have Smash armies with, and it just didn't work out. And then we had a recruit come by our clan and run FCs with us, and they crushed us with Super Bowlers, and then ended up leaving and joining a different clan. So it's a little bit humbling in the moment, but no shame. I copied that army, and I'm having a great time with it. Yeah. Mac, what are you using?
I've been doing Sui Hero Hydra. I'm not super happy with it right now. It's helped. I'm crushing box spaces with it, which feels pretty good because I see a lot of those. But I do want to. I need to get back into some good Lalo again.
Yeah. So for anybody wanting like a legitimate answer to this, I think the strongest things in the meta are like variations of Lalo and Hydra, which is dragons and dragon riders. And so it's a Sui hero, it's a Queen Walk, it's a Blizzard, identifying what opening is going to be the best for that base, and then what back end is going to be the best for that base. And that makes it sound like it should be pretty straightforward in terms of being able to figure it out.
Identification is hard.
But yeah, it's kind of hard. And all the bases right now are those like really boxy, symmetrical ones to try and combat like that specific meta. And so that's kind of why I've been enjoying the Super Bowlers. Is I think it's a good like anti-meta attack strat right now.
Yeah, people don't take as much thought into how their compartments are placed when you want to smash them. And for the Hydra, you can use anti-dragons, is what I've realized. It just doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Inferno dragons, regular dragons, electro dragons, super dragons.
Super. Yeah. If you're not good at attacking and you're just wanting to spam something, E-drag spam is as good as it's ever been. Super drag spam at Town Hall 14 is probably taking the place of it, where it's like good, you know, won't triple everything, but it's fine.
And if you're good, use Lalo. Good luck. What do you think the size of the update will be from Jared Bro High?
211 gigabytes.
Okay.
Megabytes. No.
Right?
Like for the spring update, I don't know.
I think it'll be an open world Skyrim style Clash of Clans.
The Clash of Clans MMORPG. Like I would probably download it in beta at least and run with it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, whatever they do, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, they did you guys see they announced a comic book? For next year.
Wow.
Apparently a guy who does a lot of comic books. I know he's done the books for the Last Airbender stuff, and I've read a few of those. And I'm not a
way. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know his name. I'd butcher it, but so they're gonna do like a big series of comic book stuff out next spring. And they announced it today, I know my initial instinct was,
oh, no way.
Like, where's the joke in there? Like, where's the joke in this? But
it's not real.
It just doesn't seem like a joke.
It's not real. They got you.
Man, no, I think it is real, especially if they credited an artist. But a good follow-up question to that is Steel Giant 1992 asks, do you think Supercell should develop and incorporate a storyline for COC? And so if they're coming out with a comic book, they're going to have a storyline. And I know they tried to have one when you first log in, like you versus goblins, and the goblin map is like maybe the closest thing to a storyline they have. But I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know what it would look like, but it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, adding a little bit of lore would be okay, but it's and I don't think it's necessary.
Nah, get out of here.
Yeah.
I would love
it's necessary.
Yeah. I love. When I was big into League of Legends, I loved all the lore behind the champions.
Yeah, that's true.
You could do something similar.
Well, and their shorts that they've put out have been so cool and like kind of glimpses to a lore, you know?
Yeah, like people really like the whole Clash of Rama series.
Yeah. So I think that'd be really neat if they just tie together a lot of what they've already done for a bit of a storyline. Obviously, the heroes would be most of the main characters, I would think.
All right, what do we got next?
Is there any hope for Builder Base?
Actually, I've got a good answer for it.
Steel Giant.
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier today, actually. I think the best thing that they could do for Builder Base, or like whatever they want to do with the game, if they're throwing anything outside of the main village, is just have as many direct ties to the main village as possible. And they tried that with Builder Base with gear ups, and those suck. And then they did it with auto, which is nice, but now everybody just does auto and they move on. And so I think a sustainable, repetitive tie-in is what you need. So I think somehow make it so that you can get medals, like CWL medals, out of Builder Base. And I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Yeah.
But if every time you end a season, kind of like Legends trophies on like the main base, how you can carry over how many Legends trophies you have. If you can do that in Builder Base and get like,
that's what Clan Games is.
yeah. That's Clan Games. If you
can finish Clan Games faster if you do Builder Base challenges.
That is true, and then it gets you stuff like that.
Neither of you guys plays Boom Beach, do you?
I did for a bit, not very much.
Right. So, did you play while they had warships? Warships active. So what warships is, I'll be quick, is it's kind of like the Boom Beach Builder Base, where it's a separate base you build. It resets every month, and you have like a tree that you earn keys and raid tokens, or whatever they're called, and upgrade tokens, and you choose which upgrade path you want to go, which stuff to add to your base, and you build and build and build through the season, and then it's a hard reset. And it changes every season, and so you start over from scratch. You bank some of the stuff, so you get a head start if you did well. If they could rework builder base to be more like warships and
bye, Rick.
Well, hopefully he gets back in here soon.
I've never played
Boom Beach.
Boom Beach.
Let's talk
I think
about
it's a bad idea.
For those of you still here, we have a long-time personal argument about whether or not volume is a competitive advantage.
No, it's not. That's not the argument.
Spotlight R agrees with you that volume is 100% advantage in war.
No, it's not an argument. It is factually a competitive advantage. For everyone who doesn't know, I play Clash with my volume on full blast in public. It doesn't matter where I am. Because it's a competitive advantage. And then the only argument against it is like, oh, I don't like it. And like, that's fine. If you're just a casual player, then you play the game however you want to, casually. But if you're looking to play the game at its peak, you play it with volume.
Well, user Call Me Daddy, he asked, what's your favorite obstacle noise? His is the spooky tree. I literally have most all the obstacles. Don't know what any of them sound like.
All right, I'm pulling up the game right now. If you hear my game, I'm so sorry. Because I know the answer to it. I just forget which obstacle it is. It's one of the Halloween ones. I think they have the coolest sound effects for sure. The Chinese New Year ones are also pretty cool. But
yeah, I like the animation on those.
Yeah, it's Spooky Tree for me. It's the same one as when the Royal Ghost dies. Royal Ghost is my favorite tree. Yeah.
Look at you guys.
Yeah, twins.
And we touched on Royal Ghost twice now. For those of you who didn't play the Royal Ghost meta, it was awesome.
Best meta.
The ghosts were invisible, and they could not be targeted for 14 seconds.
It was too long. Yeah,
it was
the
so
only time I've ever had a spam army where it was literally my whole army was 31 Royal Ghosts and that was it.
Yeah.
And I still felt like I was strategically playing the game.
My favorite part about Royal Ghosts was I would go into Twitch streams of people doing competitive wars and just repeatedly say in the comments, like, why aren't you using Royal Ghosts? And then they'd be like, it's because they're stupid OP and they're banned. And I'm like, okay, what about Royal Ghost Bats?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Royal Ghost Bats. That was
it. They were so good.
Yeah, that was a really fun 2 weeks for drinking Rick.
Yeah. That is still my all-time legend trophy PR, I'm pretty sure. Came from
I got a perfect day.
Season.
Yeah, I got a perfect day with that.
I crushed Legend League that month. Sorry, everyone else.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for me as far as time goes.
All right. Yeah. Let's before you go,
question.
Let's pick a winner.
Rick, it's your code. I think it's your choice.
Which one do you think?
Whichever one you like the most. Whichever one got you talking about Boom Beach.
Yeah, I have no idea where I cut off or crashed in there. I was staring at the wall. But yeah,
I'm sure as soon as everyone heard you bring up Boom Beach, they also disconnected.
Yeah. Boom Beach is weird. I know. Yeah, we could do a whole different episode of me rambling about Boom Beach. But for the winner, I like the pets question. I like
the storyline question. Supercell incorporating storyline.
That was kind of interesting, and it got us talking about something new that we probably wouldn't have mentioned. So I'd be cool with either one of those. You're the tiebreaker, Frank.
All right. Steel Giant 1992. Congratulations. Rick will DM you with a code. Do you think Supercell should develop and incorporate a storyline for COC? Cool question. Hope they do. If you've got any ideas for who the main character should be, let us know.
Yeah, hey, if you are still listening, shoot me a chat message or a DM or something, or send us a email.
That'll help. Awesome.
Nice. Well, on my way out, a couple of shout outs. Shout out to Darian, I guess. It feels like every episode we've got 7 or 8 Reddit posts that we talk about, and he's usually commenting on 1 or 2 of them. And this time, I think he had commented on every single one of them except for maybe 1. And so he's been active. He's around, especially if an update's coming out. I'm sure he's about to be super active in a little bit. So thanks, I guess. That's all
Rick,
I got.
any
What about you
shout-outs?
guys?
I don't know. Can I say? I know I talk about Catfish every week, but I just want to let everyone know he's officially dead to me. He told me earlier today that he was a forum user. So
Shout out to the forums.
he just throw a little shade, and I hope he caught the reference earlier. But
don't forget to sign up for the forums versus Reddit war.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. We'll have another announcement about that probably pretty soon. But for all you other podcast family people, do go check out what Catfish is putting on. He's putting together a pretty cool Easter event, it sounds like. So if you guys are interested, definitely don't go participate in that Forum Losers event at all. And don't look up the details on their Discord servers. Anyway, what do you got?
Shout out user Naive Ozzy and him playing the Clash of Clans music on his keyboard. I'm still so impressed.
Nice. Well, I think that'll do it for us. Thanks for listening, everybody. Awesome. If you want to stick around and keep listening to the soundtrack, feel free. But I'm out of here, and you guys have a good night.
All right. Yeah. Take it easy.
Cheers.